it's going to start. Hello everyone. Thank you very much for joining. Hi Nivya. Hi Lightbox. Hi Divya. Hi Vishan. How are you guys? Today guest is a very, very special guest. He's got a 36 years of experience. Can you believe 36 years of experience is huge? Hi Jatinder, how are you? Hi Rupesh. And also he believes in never giving up attitude, which is also a very, very big thing. And he's none other than Vivek Gupta from Arvind, Vivek and Associates. So I'm going to get him in some time. And by the time, I love doing this. Hi Sachin. Hi Porus. Hi Ishita. Thanks Divya. Hi Jatin. Hi Sujanya. Hi Swanzil, how are you? Thank you for joining. Hi Naveen. Hi Pratham. So soon we're going to get him on board. I'm really, really excited today because today is not a day of too much gyan, which we have promised. It is going to be a lot of fun. So looking forward. So I think now is the right time. We got good audience. So my team is also joined today. Geeta, hi, how are you? So let's get him on board. I think he still has to join in. Gupta has to join in. We are still waiting. So I'm just trying to put him in. I don't think he is there till now. Hi Iram. Iram, can you call Vivek to join in CJ Living Official? So hi Amit. Because I can't see him. Now I can see him. Great. Now I can see him. Let's join him. Sir, good evening.
Is that the way? तू मेरे को देख ही नहीं पा रहा तो क्या बात करेगा? I tell you,
मैं आपकी ऑडियंस की वेट कर रहा था. आपको टेंशन थी कि कोई ऑडियंस आएगी आपको देखने या नहीं. मैंने कहा आपको देखने बहुत ऑडियंस आएगी.
फिर रुक जा, जब 100 आ जाएंगे तब होगा.
तो सर आजकल बहुत ज्यादा है.
कंपटीशन.
सर अब बहुत लोग जो हैं वो बिजी हो गए हैं काम में और बहुत सारे चैट्स कर रहे हैं. बट आपकी फैन फॉलोइंग बहुत है सर. वी हैव लॉट ऑफ सरप्राइजेस in this show for you, which for sure you will like. Hi Kolika, see Iram is there.
Hi guys.
So a lot of people are.
Big hi to everybody.
P3 is there.
I don't know. I've been telling. I told CJ everybody is done to death with it. Swansea will tell you that it's all up to yin yang, and even then, but it's okay. So he's saying that come, we'll have a chat. So here I am. And ask me whatever. And today I'm going to be looking at the questions. I'm looking down. Hey Iram, don't say that later on. Look at the hair. My God, absence makes the hair grow longer. That's what a sign I read outside the barber shop, and this is proving to be true. Absolutely.
Sir, you're getting lot of compliments on your hair, how handsome you're looking. But before I introduce you properly to my audience, I will, for the first time, Alexa is going to introduce you. So,
Oh, really?
Alexa, please introduce my guest.
Interesting.
देखो कौन आ गया है
Come on.
पे जो छा गया है सिर्फ निगाहें है दिल है बाहें डांस हो जाए
Come on, CJ. Come on, CJ.
ओ पहचान लो मैं हूँ डॉन
Oh God. Oh God.
Sir, you're the Don. You're the Don on it. Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. See,
Come on.
sir, it is a Google Alexa which has introduced you, not me. And you are the Don of the industry. You're the rock star of the industry.
I'm humble. I'm humble. Absolutely humble.
Most important, sir, you don't.
सर छोड़ दे सीजे प्लीज यार बड़ा मुश्किल हो गया हाउ वेल कैन वी चैट इफ यू आर गोइंग टू बी सरिंग मी आई टेल एवरी टाइम द रॉयल्टी इज टू बिजी टू फाइट द कोविड टू नाइट मी अभी नाइटिंग हुई नहीं है मेरी जब हो जाएगी तब सर लॉर्ड जो मर्जी बोलना
वही तो
फिलहाल
मैं कह रहा हूँ बॉस एक बात बताओ क्यों दुनिया को फ्रॉड कर रहे हो मतलब या तो अपनी एज के लगो
come on I told you I'm written on my story that CJ is out to tell my vintage come on I'm young man there's no age you don't age beyond 50 ever so I haven't aged beyond 50
विंटेज में कुछ दिखेगा विंटेज लायक तो करेंगे ना विंटेज पता क्या कर सकते
Look at me, all white, man. I'm seeing myself up close and personal, and look at this. This is all white, but yeah, चल रहा है अभी फिलहाल गाड़ी चल रही है इसी की खा रहे हैं आजकल.
But great. But sir, you know, when I was studying your company and things like that, I realized that when you started your practice, I was 6 years old.
Oh God, don't start all these things. Somebody will say I wasn't even born. Somebody like Shantanu will say I wasn't even born. So, sorry, I can't
And you
get
know, my wife generally puts that post which we generally put for our Instagram followers. And when she asked me, and I wrote specifically for the people that it's from 1984. And then she suddenly said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah." She says, "I was not even born." I was like, "Today is going to be fun."
Don't din it further, CJ. Don't you're no friend. If you're going to be dinning that, is this kind of numerical slur. This is called numerical slur. किसी को racial slur होती my age. When you talk about numbers of age, it's a numerical slur, and you are giving me a numerical slur. Stop doing that. आगे बोल.
मूवी नहीं आई थी ब्रैड पिट की द बेंजामिन आपका सर वही है पुराना मतलब अब नाउ यू आर गेटिंग मोर यंगर सो बट God bless you sir it's a real honestly for all the youngsters who have not chance to meet you you're a energy bar in sense you are when we are with you we don't need any other kind of motivation or you are more than enough so I'm really happy I'm really happy to have you on this chat and because as I discussed with you that it's mainly because of when I started this more about motivation and it's about the journey which we all have and knowing from where you have come from I've heard other chats also that you started from scratch this architecture practice and you sit in one room and then from one room you shifted to two rooms now I know you are a big fan of luxury cars you have a lot of luxury cars so it's like you have come from a lot of but before you
Will tell it's a Innova.
sorry
One of your audience will tell it's an Innova. I'm not naming that person on the chat right now.
okay we'll talk about that later but before I continue with this I just want to tell the audience that I have a great respect of this architect fraternity I have this is my bread and butter so this is a very respectful chat we're going to do not to offend anyone or not to do anything so please don't think about that and I'm seeing a lot of interesting chats interesting comments right now coming up and you have a big surprise but so one thing which you have been doing in the lockdown which you have not done besides which I heard jhadu pocha, cooking, which you were sharing in your other chat.
So really nothing, I don't believe, I really am not into experimenting too much. I'm not the kind of person, even from the point of view of upskilling myself, I'm not good at it. I haven't upskilled myself on anything that I didn't know. But I was chatting the other day and I was saying that, been brought up in a thing where if a challenge is thrown to me, I will accept it and I will do well at it. I will make sure that I'm able to fulfill the task that is given to me, be it anything, literally. So there is impossible is nothing is a phrase that I take very seriously. I feel if someone can do it, you can do it. If you cannot accomplish it, you can at least try doing it. So be it anything in life, accepting, and from that point of view, as somebody says that you're a dinosaur, but yes, of course, somebody who started working on drawings and hand-drawn sketches and drawings till date, AutoCAD or computer software is something that I really couldn't, because again, I feel it takes away from your creativity. That's for me, that's very, very personal. There are people who are extremely proficient. There are people who can visualize through that. But there is an entire process of designing that comes to me because when I hold a pencil, and now in fact, to be very honest, I don't even need to do that. There is a story that goes on in your mind. And after that, it's a matter of putting it on paper. And we all know that we are able to put that story on paper. It's basically articulation of your thoughts. So what you need is for any project that you're doing, you need to be able to break it down into plausible volumes, areas, your entire design scheme, and then finally put it on paper. So yeah, so from otherwise during the lockdown, the only thing perhaps, the other day, Rupesh is on the chat and he wanted me to be on a chat where it involved me being able to share the screen. And I said, listen, I can't even upskill myself to be able to share the screen. And I didn't want to make a fool of myself. I'm an extremely competitive guy. To be honest, I'm very, very competitive. I don't like to lose.
I know you're never
So
give up. You're
I'm
never
not
give,
able to do it. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
your never give up attitude is very known with your friend circle and things. But great, we are all fortunate that we have come out of the lockdown. So coming
Are we
back to hope so, hope
today?
so. Hope so. In sense, sir, like slowly we have come up, and we are still going. We at least we have the liberty of moving out and doing some kind of important work to be. And of course, we all have to be safe. It's not that the stress is not gone, but we all need to be careful. Uh, but sir, the reason of this chat again is about the journey. If you can brief us about your school, your college, your starting of your architectural practice.
So my practice, as all the friends know, is very accidental. In fact, I never planned to start practice. And my problem in life has been, or the good point in life has been, I've never planned anything. I have never been able to plan anything, and nothing in the life that I have done has been premeditated. And I think including design. For me, design also remains intuitive. I just follow in life all the intuition that I have. And when you with no kind of, what should I say, the end result, when you don't think of the end result and you just plunge into it head on and you want to make a go of it, I think that's the way I have. So I started my practice accidentally when I came to Delhi, and once I started, I knew within my heart that I had to make a go of it. Now, the only thing, and the other day when I was writing, that life is not about cherry pickings. And
Yes.
architecture is not a low-hanging fruit. The practice takes you a long, 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 long time to reach wherever you will be, and you don't reach anywhere. At any point in time in your life, look at Mr. B.V. Doshi. Even today, he's happy to collaborate. He's happy to every project gives you a new teaching. So I think the only thing, and that's my message to everybody who would want to start a practice or something, is to work with some architect, definitely as an apprentice for some years. It helps you to unfortunately, I never worked with anybody. And I realized the biggest drawback that I have today is that because I didn't work with anybody, I have nobody else's influence on me. I do not know the name of any other architect excepting friends who are there. And that somewhere at some point in time, you feel that if there was a mentor, if there was somebody under whom I would have worked, his design vocabulary I would have learned or something like that, it would have helped me in my career today. But yeah, all that I have known, I haven't upskilled myself from that point of view, so I remain what I am.
So
Right
you answered my next question for sure, because my next question was coming before when we finished the journey, but because you answered the question that you think it's very important to work before starting your own practice. That is what you said, that you really miss a mentor, or you think that you need one god or somebody who can help you to design.
CJ, not a godfather. Godfather becomes that dummy figure who you think is going to provide you with all the niceties of the world. No, there's no godfather. There's no godfather at all.
So you
There
mean
is
mentor?
a mentor only for your design thinking, design direction, things that you're lacking, because you've never worked with anybody who will teach you anything, and now everybody who comes tries to learn from me. If I don't have anything to give, what will I be able to give? So now the best part is that I learn from these people. So the continuation of learning is there, but only to the extent that it's only what I want to learn from them. But whereas if I would have worked under a mentor, I perhaps would have learned because it would have been directed towards me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And what about your college? So,
College was paid holiday by parents. 5 years of paid holiday. You didn't need to do anything. Architecture, everybody will tell you, is actually a paid holiday. You don't study anything. Can you imagine a course where you can be in a group submission, the whole college is together, you are listening to music, somebody's sleeping, somebody's working, you are having chai, somebody's having daru, it's completely a paid holiday. You travel, you go on tours. Twice in our college, we used to go on a tour, 3-week tour every year, and another tour. So 2 tours every year. And with the entire class of 30 people, you are having a ball. Really, 5 years of paid holiday.
so your college was in Chandigarh, right? College of Architecture, Chandigarh, right?
That's right.
And to said, I had the chance of having a talk with Zafar Chaudhary also, and he's also been in the same college. And he said that college was a time when he really again got the passion of architecture and he learned everything. But very interesting thing he told me, which I didn't realize at that time, that he also said there was a porch area in your college which was also known for some infamous things. तो सर ये infamous आपने तो नहीं बनाया वहां पे जो उन्होंने उन्होंने follow किया वहां पे कि क्योंकि you were before him for sure there in the college, so you must have made a kind of a trendsetter or a kind of a situation, and it was like a interesting thing of the college.
Absolutely. So what happens is, you know how Punjab is,
Yes.
So they are senior on the matlab who are
Yes.
senior. They are the guiding lights for you in college. As I was sharing in the chat, that they are the ones who rag you. And because they rag you, they become very close. So it's a college of 150 students. That's it. It's an independent college. At that point in time, we used to have 30 students. Imagine 150 students in all. How close you are to each other. You know each person by name. You know each person by habits and everything. So porch is something that when you don't enter, so it's at the entrance. So when you don't want to enter in, you are at the porch, and this is where everybody and anybody who's going, you can, generally have fun. If you college porch, of course, as for each one of us, has amazing memories. And if any of the people have been on CCA, just the other day, Naresh shared with me pictures of our college, and he said that one of the movies was shot there recently. So there is a corridor which is Gedi corridor. I do not know, each one of us must have gone around that corridor some 10,000 times at least, or maybe more.
Same road called Gedi Road, because
So Gedi Road is of course in Sector 11 and all, and that is
So that,
around Sector 10 and everything. Wherever there are girls' hostels are Gedi
yes,
Road basically.
yes.
But in a college, the courtyard, there is a corridor around the courtyard, and everybody just goes around that courtyard on the corridor, and
सर वो
it's a
गेड़ी
beautiful.
रोड, वो गेड़ी रोड आपने तो नहीं बनाई थी, वो गेड़ी रोड जो दूसरी वाली गेड़ी रोड?
I told you I was a quintessential good boy. You can't pin
Good,
me down.
sir.
Wrong that I in college.
I have done some good homework, like a good boy too, for your chat. We will come up to that, I think, very soon.
Yes.
But so most of the audience doesn't know that you are from Bikaner. From Bikaner, the story started, and then you did your schooling from Bikaner, a beautiful town, and from there you came to Chandigarh and you did your college, and then you came to Delhi, right? You started your practice. So when did you, just for the audience, when did you start your practice?
So I started on the 15th November 1984,
Wow, 15th November.
precisely the November 1984. And how I started was that I had no project, nothing. We started working on a competition. There was the Sarita Ware competition for the housing, Sarita Ware housing. It was a DDA competition. I had no work, nothing. Obviously, I didn't know anybody. So I started participating in that competition. And I was, I not even formally rented. I started from a known person's house in one of the rooms in the house. It was not even a separate entry or something that I used to go through that lady, one benevolent old lady, and she used to live alone, so she was very fond of me over the next whatever time I was there, about a year or so. And yeah, I started the office without any agenda, without knowing what I'm going to do, where the next project is going to be coming from. And I think it's continued. Even till date, I do not really, I mean, there is no way that I have a methodology of approaching clients or something like that. It just comes, you know. I think it's a word of mouth that if you do a good job, and good job again is a very relative term. Good job, I consider something if your client is happy. I do not believe in projects that are to make people happy. I believe in, because the brief has come from the client, the money has come from the client, the requirements have come from the client. So I believe that as long as my client is happy, and in my case, more often than not, the client is an institutional client. Client is not a single person. Client is a crowd, or is a number of people who occupy that building. So a satisfied client to me is when the brief is fulfilled, I think, yeah.
Great. So I must say we're all proud of you from where you started at the time when nobody knew about architecture. As such, it was a practice which people started and getting hang of it, and now what you have achieved. So congratulations, sir, and we are very happy, proud of you. So, so journey, of course, is a very motivational, inspirational for the audience, and I'm sure everybody agrees to what I'm saying. So, sir, coming to your work, uh, I personally feel you're like a retail king. You have done stores like Kanali. You have done stores like Kenzo, Ministry of Fashion, much
I
more.
did Paul Smith, I did Jimmy Choo, I did Samsara, Ministry of, I mean, Aftershock. At one point in time, but I don't do retail anymore. And there's a story behind this, CJ, because I got so involved with turning out retail stores all over the world, you know, from Middle East to Africa to US to London to Singapore, Malaysia, everywhere. And I used to travel so much to Italy. I used to go and meet Roberto Cavalli, Paulo Chisa, Paulo Canali, all these guys, you know. And this is the time when they used to think that in India you can't do branded stores. You can only do boutique stores and things like that. We've done a store called Kenzo in Delhi, in Emporio. And then I did that store in Bombay as well. And the story is now, the name is no longer good, but yeah, at one point in time, Neerav Modi approached us to do a store for him. And we said, I've heard about you and this, that, the other. And, you know, you've done some stores. He one day called me from JW Marriott, which is where we've done the Kenzo store. And he said, you know, you've done that store. Where is it? So I said, it's in the lobby. Go have a look at it. And he called me again saying that his person called me again and said, there's no store here. So I said, well, how is it? I didn't know. So I called up the client. I said, hey, listen, what happened? Is the store shut or something? He said, we shut it last month because it wasn't doing well. And it just immediately, I was a little heartbroken for the first time in the sense that I realized the temporary nature of retail stores. Retail stores are business driven. And at that point in time, I got drifted away from architecture because we used to do a lot of work in Leh Ladakh. And then suddenly, this was also, to be honest, I am extremely impatient as a human being. I like to see results very fast. And retail stores had started giving me that high, because you could churn out a store in 2 months, 2.5 months time, and you could see the end result when the client will walk in, he'll say, wow, this, that, the other. So that temporariness of the nature of the store, I realized, and I said, no, I will not do any store. And I think I said no, and I had no work, I remember, and then I participated in 3-4 competitions just to get back to architecture. As luck would have it, there was some extremely prestigious competition that we won. We won the competition for the VAT Bhavan at ITO. We won the competition for IIIA. That's the highest observatory in the world in Leh Ladakh. So that's that project I won. C-Dot Housing. So these back to architecture. And today, no retail yet. Yes, of course, I do a lot of office fit outs. I do that.
Office. तो सर आई हर्ड कि ऐसा भी हुआ था कि आप ट्रैवल करते थे, आपको कोई जूता पसंद आता तो कहते हैं चलो एक जूता क्या लेना है, पूरा स्टोर बना देते हैं इंडिया में. कोई शर्ट देखते थे,
everybody has to raise their hands and say all those kind of things. CJ, there is
no. It was just a joke. On a serious front, I know starting something which is not part of the system or a culture. I think credit goes to you for that, and we want to thank you for getting all these beautiful brands. And of course, some of them are my favorite too.
my client.
And there is no doubt that you started and you got some amazing brands to Indian market, which we feel we were paying some extra money to go out and get them. And there are some I still feel are required to be in India, which I will message you later, and you might. I'll do that, which I personally feel are very important to be part. But so coming back to your, architecture, as you said that you won in competition, but there is a very important subject right now which I want you to take, because I know the time is short. I can't cover. There's a huge kind of a lot of projects which we can talk about. But your thinking on adaptive reuse of buildings, especially after the COVID, because I know you've done a lot of buildings now. There will be a change of office culture. There will be a lot of changes which the owner would be requiring, or the owner is, or the corporates are sending their team back to their homes to work. So how do you feel? What is your take on this?
So there are two kinds of adaptive reuse I very strongly feel about. One, some of my friends, I don't know if they've given you this question to ask or something like that, is I feel extremely passionate about is adaptive reuse of buildings which are like monuments. I feel you put life into anything. Everything is a living being, even a building. You lock up a house and lock up the furniture in that house. Trust me. And there's a movie, a beautiful movie. It's a Marathi movie. I'm forgetting the name, but I think it's called Sapatnikarancha Mool, where even the furniture starts talking to each other. There is that energy in everything that you have. So buildings, I feel, have the maximum energy because they're shelter. They've given shelter to somebody or the other. My heart pains when I see these monuments, which have an archaeological survey of India board or a railing outside, and they have no use. In fact, if they are in your neighborhood, in people in Delhi will be able to vouch for that. I used to live in Green Park for the longest time, and I do remember that there was a gumbad next to the corner of the market, another one across the road, and you couldn't build there within 500 meters because that's part of the archaeological survey of India. The kids couldn't go and play in that area because again it's barricaded and everything. And I used to feel, why have a structure like that in your neighborhood? Why can't you open a cafe coffee day there? And a cafe coffee day doesn't mean that you will have a red colored board and you will have it is only about adaptive reuse of that space. If that space starts living, if that space starts being used, if that space is somewhere where you can walk from the neighborhood to go and enjoy a cup of coffee, I think it'll be of great help to that neighborhood. It'll create a kind of social hub, which is much needed in Delhi, rather than lying like a Bhutaha Mahal or something like that. So that is one adaptive reuse. The other is adaptive reuse in the given circumstances that we are. When you get out of this situation, there would be adaptive reuse of buildings. There would be a lot of buildings which would have gone of disuse. Lots of factories have shut down. Maybe airlines have shut down their hangars, their premises, their offices. Each of this need to be put to an adaptive reuse, to a new use. Can a factory be converted as a ready shelter for isolation wards? Can it be converted into, I remember very few examples of good work from foreign architects that I know of and I follow. But one of them is, I remember a grain silo being converted into a beautiful office. And I used to be fascinated by that. I used to always want to get projects like that, which challenge the conventional wisdom or conventional way of looking at things. Why not convert a grain silo into an office? Why not convert that into a beautiful museum or something like that? So that is the other adaptive reuse that I want to talk about.
Great. Sir, Iram is asking, can Parliament be used for the adaptive purpose? Parliament?
Of course, yes, of course. Definitely, Iram. What I mean to say is that, people like you, instead of the current MPs, when they fight elections, and intelligent people like you go to the Parliament in the same building, but mind you, in the same building, she'll be happy because the building is not being broken and heritage is being conserved. It'll make an adaptive reuse by intelligent people, not by the current crop of people who are there.
So Iram can do some amazing artwork in that adaptive reuse of the building. That for sure can be part of.
Of course. Yes, of course.
So sir, so that's a good take. I think this will be a need of the hour. I honestly feel after COVID, and this is a very, very interesting point which you spoke about, these two aspects. But
you will realize that hotels are currently being used as isolation facility also. The entire hotels in Aerocity are being used. The moment you land up then you have to be quarantined. Everybody is given an option of choosing a hotel. So I know of Red Fox and Lemon Tree and all these hotels being used for, that's an adaptive use.
Great. So sir, tell me, with your experience now, coming back from, as we discussed, from your time of starting to the time now what you're doing in last 36 years of design practice, you must have seen, because I think this is very important for the audience to know, you must have seen must be a lot of evolution of changes which you must have observed. But the most important thing is that how did you manage to cope up with it?
I've been with the times actually in everything that I want to do, not from technological point of view, but from technology point of view. I am, if you can have drivers who keep you updated with technology and at least use of technology in your work. However, having said that, there's another way that the buildings have started being made. I feel any building that uses shop drawings is not an architectural solution. So what has started happening in between is that all the buildings that are being built are essentially floor plates with a shop drawing being given by an engineer or a structural engineer or a facade engineer to give you a glazing. That is not a building that has been made by an architect. I have not been able to keep up with that kind of architecture. Though that's the current trend, that's the demand. But in any given project that I have, I would want to design buildings which have their own mutual shading, they will have their own blocking, they are sensitive towards the climate that they respond to the weather condition, the climatic condition, the context, and the requirements of the client. So those kind of the buildings, I still will always be able to design only that kind of building. I will not be able to be with the times in terms of parametric because I feel that's a skill. And I somehow or the other do not feel that buildings need to have an artificial skin devoid of a soul, or that the skin has no resonance to the inner volume. And I think a lot of buildings that are being done today are all about skin. The other day I was in a webinar and chatting with I think Rajan Goregaonkar and Pronith Roy, and I was talking to them about, because they were talking about the FSI rules in Bombay and how they make it difficult to get interesting buildings. And my question to them was this only, that why do those buildings, we've grown up in a city called Chandigarh where not only forget building bana, there was a facade control. You couldn't even change the facade. I think perhaps I come from that line of thinking that a building is a soul. It's a shelter. It is an envelope. And that envelope needs to feel good. And that's why I think that's where I come from. So when you had a facade control and still you were asked to design a building, would you design a facade or would you design a building?
So sir, tell me, you've done a lot of projects, like you've done hotels, you've done commercials, office building, schools, housing. So what's been it's different range of scales, it's different style of architecture. Every project needs, whether it's educational institute or hospitality, or so what has been is it been your singular approach towards all your projects, or the approach has been different with your projects?
So I told you, for me, the 3 C's that work is the client, context, and climate. My biggest thing is the client. He is the guy who's given you a project. He's the guy who's given you the brief and the money and everything. I need to make the building work for him. If it's an institutional client where today the person is there who's given you the brief, he gets transferred, there's another person who comes, I have to stay true to the intent of the building. And I guess that's the way I have worked for all my institutional projects and the government projects that we are doing. The second thing, because we work across the country at least, and a lot of places in the world, is the climate. Because unlike the West, where the climate by and large remains the same everywhere across the countries, in India, within India, the climate is diametrically opposite. What is there in Leh and Ladakh is just the opposite to what is there in Jaisalmer. What is there in Bangalore is not the same as Chennai, and not the same as Kolkata. So you need to cater to the climate of that city, and you need to design for that. And the third thing is context. And I think context to me has come into picture because of the very kind of project that we do. To me, housing needs to have balconies, and housing needs to have entrance lobbies. Housing needs to have typical characters which are functional requirements of a housing. I do not believe in air conditioning, even if my housing is going to be air conditioned, but the balcony is a requirement in this Indian condition. You need to step out into the balcony. You cannot have a housing where it's completely glass front and there is no differentiation between an office building and a housing. So I believe in that. A school has to look like a school. It has to evoke that emotion in you that it's an institutional building. An office has to look like an office building. So from that point of view, the context becomes extremely important. And also, the context is a very funny word, and that's where sometimes my debate is. The pyramid designed by IMP in the Louvre, is it contextual or not? I don't think it was, but then it is there today. If you go to the Louvre, you don't get yourself pictured with the old building. You will always get yourself pictured with the pyramid. So right. It is creating a context. It has created a separate identity and a context, and that context was to be able to join all those 3 museum building wings together through an underground passage. And it's done so beautifully. I think it's marvelous example of how you can create a non-contextual structure and create a context of use, not necessarily of the type of the building. Yes.
Great. Very well said, sir. My last question before I start a surprise rapid fire questions for you. The rapid fire are very interesting. I will disclose the surprise after this question when you answer. So this is your words which you really believe in. I understand. I've been seeing you quoting this, that architecture is not about an Instagram picture. but an experience, and why you don't wholly subscribe to elevation architecture. So this kind of quotes which you have done, I want you to share your thought process with the audience.
So a lot of my friends know I react to the pictures on Instagram in the sense that when picture is not an experience and buildings are an experience, there is a difference, you know. You don't watch buildings. You don't. It's not like a painting that you see it from outside. Buildings have to be experienced. They are shelters. You need to go inside and feel the building. So sometimes, you know, when you walk in Amsterdam and you see those building facades, and that's the building facades in Amsterdam, those Dutch homes, those are facades. They need to be interesting, maybe, you know, but that's not architecture to me. A pretty picture, a cleverly shot photograph does not make architecture. And I've been saying this, that in every jury and when you give awards to buildings which are basis of a picture, that should not be done. The jury needs to go and visit those buildings and feel how are they true to the function that they are meant for. It shouldn't be that from outside, because your elevation, you know, just the other day I was talking to a friend and I was intrigued by some huge curves that were coming in the elevation, and I was intrigued how the building would behave inside, because I thought that it would create some very awkward angles and corners inside. Yes, of course, you can deal with anything the way you want, you can, but that's an architect's, sorry if I can use the word mental masturbation, which the rest of the people will have to deal with. I don't believe in that. An architect needs to be rational, and that's why we are students of science. Otherwise, we could have been students of art. You know, an artist can create fantastic building, a sculptor can create a fantastic building, but that building will not have a rational. That will have idiosyncrasies, that will have volumes and forms that will be very difficult to deal with. And I think that's why you need to make buildings which are an experience, not a facade. That will lead to skills of architecture, that will lead to parametric architecture, that will lead to theatrical architecture, which you start creating an opera on the face of that building, and I don't believe in that. I really don't believe in that. And I always react to that kind of architecture.
Very well said, sir. But sir, आपको पूरे वर्ल्ड में एम्स्टरडैम ही दिखा सर, कोई और कंट्री देख लेते. Now, sir,
एमएसएडएम में क्या प्रॉब्लम है, मेरे को बता.
क्या? Sorry?
एमएसएडएम में क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
सर बहुत अच्छी जगह है, मैं तो कह रहा हूँ बहुत बढ़िया जगह, मतलब और भी
तो चूज करके बता रहा हूँ.
वही तो मैं कह रहा हूँ सर, बहुत अच्छी जगह है. So coming,
I said Amsterdam of the Amsterdam that I know of, perhaps you are not even experienced to that.
so sir, I have plans for cycling in Amsterdam, sir. I have already plans. So I have already explored Amsterdam with family. It's one of the beautiful places, amazing weather, nice place. So I was just saying Instagram mein Amsterdam is also or more. So there are more. But sir, my questions are finished, and I think I had a very good chat with you with my questions.
Yes.
But now, sir, it's a small rapid fire, and for the first time, the rapid fire is not prepared by me. The surprise that is prepared by your friends. So and you know, when I say friends, I mean your very dear friends from Iram, Amrita, Sabina. So
all of them.
I can start if you allow me, sir.
Absolutely, please go ahead.
So,
and
I will start with your college. I will start with your college.
Koelika, what is
Kolika is going crazy now. So she's a very honest, straightforward person. So she's just point blank.
I'm not saying that on the chat, but that's how I feel when architects do that, what they want to do that, please. And without taking into consideration anything that's relevant to the task that was given to them.
Of course. So we're just trying to add some fun. That's the idea. That's why initially we just said that it's fun also. Kolika, we can't say anything about it. But so the first question, which is that from your college mate Sabina.
Oh.
Vivek,
Yes.
Vivek has always had a way with girls in college and real life. What has been the secret?
You tell.
No, the question is for you.
The secret.
The question is
Sabina,
for you.
the secret. Tell me. If I knew the secret, I'm married to one from my college, so obviously you have to answer that.
Yeah, he told me you had two to decide. I got to know that there were two. Is it true?
I thought there were five, six.
Five, six. Okay.
Two is less number. Two
That's a
is
good
very.
one. Okay, another one from her. Your upturned collars. When did this start? Not in college, definitely.
So no, I think it's been there right from the beginning, somehow or the other. Yes,
But
and yeah, I think it's been there right from the beginning. Maybe because I had a very small neck, I was because of that. So I used to keep my collars up. And there was one point in time I'd gone so crazy that I would not take up a project from a client under with whom I had to keep my collar low. So if I'm comfortable, then only I'll take up the project, and that would mean that I can enter his room with my
सर हमने
collars up.
हमने तो कॉलर नीचे करके आराम से रिस्पेक्टफुली ऐसे करके बंद करके बैठे हैं सर हम तो.
So हमेशा collar has to be up, otherwise no point.
I agree.
So
I
that's
agree.
comfort level with the client that there's no offense to anybody. I feel very uncomfortable. I'm forever doing this. So what's the point of being uncomfortable?
Sir, I had to love your attitude. I had to love this. I used to
It's
do.
not. It's just a way of I remember Azharuddin used to keep his collar from the back like this.
Yes.
So and for other friends, I say something else, but it's fine.
No,
I'm
I
not
heard.
saying,
I heard that in your last chat. So,
I'm not saying that again.
and you have to be careful saying whatever you want to because there will be some
I'm
great
saying
comments.
I
Yeah,
can see that.
there will be some interesting comments which will
Yes.
come instantly to that. So now, Iram and Amrita question. In your preference, who's your favorite, Iram or Amrita?
Uh, First half of the day, second half of the day is Amrita. Now ask me why.
Ask you why? Of course, that was my next question.
Because in second half of the day, sometimes on these trips, I would take a drag or two of a cigarette, where Iram will just be after me, no, no, no. So whereas Amrita would be at least a little bit, she will be forgiving on that. So I think so from that point of view. Yes. So I've answered that question. If you thought that it was tough one.
No, no. With you, we don't think anything is tough. So we are very clear about that.
Is
But
that okay, Iram and Amrita?
I hope so for them.
Yes.
Again, their question.
Koelika saying Iram's mummy mode turns on. That's very right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, Iram and Amrita question again. Which three girls would you like to take for the next WOV holiday? WOV holiday.
None of these troubling ones. None of these troubling ones. New, nice, अच्छी वाली लड़कियां, सुघड़ कन्याएं ऐसे नहीं है इनके जैसे शैतान वाली नहीं बिल्कुल. They are always pulling my leg. On top of that, they say he keeps. What did Iram tell?
वो कहते हैं you are the one pulling them all the time.
My God, look at them. They don't even allow me to sit with anybody. Idhar baithega, idhar baithega, idhar baithega. That's the amount of bullying that they do.
That is my
Just,
next question.
yes.
That is also the question coming. कि when you travel, अब तो वो तो होंगी नहीं because you said that they will not be part of your group now. So the
बिल्कुल भी नहीं 200%.
100%. When the new girls also will be there for your next holiday, your preference of hanging out will be with girl besties or boy besties like Zubin. जैसे Zubin besties के साथ होता है.
Oh, besties तो girl ही होती है. मेरा menu ठीक है यार. Please, I have a right menu. I'm with a very proper menu. I don't have. Zubin is Zubin. Zubin is Zubin. उसके साथ बाइक पे जाएंगे, कहीं पे जाएंगे ऐसे, but not. I think I'm making it clear.
Yes, good. I understand. So this question, of course, you have also seen. Question from Zaki from Mumbai.
Oh God.
अपना भाई विवेक गुप्ता कितना डेबोनेयर लग रहा है. Day by day, more and more. By day, more and more. इसका क्या राज है? India needs to know. मैं तो कह रहा हूँ world needs to know.
Because Zaki ने अपना good looks का Bluetooth on किया है, इसलिए मैं ठीक लग रहा हूँ.
Okay.
Is that okay? Zaki, works for
Good.
you?
Good. Good. Okay. Kamna question. Which super luxury car you buying next?
You know, I don't plan anything. I told you nothing. I don't think. So there is a saying in Hindi which says, what does it say? बना ही लेते हैं सामा वो अपने शौक का, समझौता अरमानों से नहीं होता मेरी जमीन पर. So I have no plans. But अगर अरमान में कुछ होगा तो कोई ना कोई तरीका निकलेगा that we will be able to manage and one will be able to manage. But there is nothing. I'm not really fond of cars. I'm extremely I like to possess things like that. So maybe, and you know, I feel that these are very meaningless possessions. They don't give you any meaning. So why not have them in case you can have them?
Okay, guys, this is my last question of rapid fire. Please pouring in your questions. I must have missed some of them. I know a lot has to be asked Vivek because now he's trapped, and I'm sure he's not going to do another chat after this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the last question is, sir. Last question is my own question from me. It's about a talent hunt. So basically, what we have done is we are doing an event in the showroom where we are going to talk about a hidden talent of everyone, right? And we're going to plan this event where Iram, of course, is curating it. Like Kolika is doing the bartending, which she always talks about. So let's see. बहुत सुन लिया सर हमने कोलिका की bartending के बारे में.
I know, I've been hearing that longest.
सुन लिया, बहुत साल से सुन लिया. रुद्राक्ष is doing photography. उसने तो अपना पूरा वीडियो लाइव चैट भी बनाया अपना फोटोग्राफी के बारे में, तो वो भी देख लेते हैं. Sonali Rastogi is being the MC of the event. So she's the MC. Yeah. So it's a very high profile. Sir. It's a very high profile event. So Saurabh Gupta from Orcom, he has a design village. So I'm sure he's going to design the event because he has a design also now. And Zafar sir will be doing the food testing because although his wife is going to make the food, of course, cook the food. So she's the one. So what is going to be your thing? Because we know you are doing trekking, you are doing off-roading, you are doing marathon running, you are doing cooking, and you are doing you're playing cricket. सब कुछ कर रहे हो सर आप. मतलब you are excellent, amazing.
I do everything. On the last time that I had 10 years of my life that I didn't do anything else except work. So I think I'm trying to gain that lost time, and I started doing all of that late in life, you know, just a few years back. So CJ, I'm going to come to the party and enjoy everybody's attributes. So that's going to be my role.
No.
कोई तो enjoy करने वाला, because that is what I'm going to do.
एक talent तो सर आपको करना पड़ेगा. ये तो गलत.
So that's the talent, not to enjoy life, to be a hedonist. So I'm the biggest hedonist.
But sir, why?
I will enjoy each one's attributes. Somebody has to compliment them. So I have to tell Koilika whether her cocktail was good or not. I have to tell Iram how has her curation been. I have to tell everybody. So I have to do everybody's attributes.
Sir, why not cooking? We have four live counters in our showroom. Why not cooking? इतना आपके cooking के बारे में सुन लिया हमने, तो आप.
I will present the dishes. I need a lot of assistance. So I will present the dishes.
No, you will.
Instant gratification, yes.
No, we will give you assistance. Assistance will be there for sure for everyone. It's not that.
100%. So I'll cook a dish for you. I will present it in my manner, in my own way. And yes, done.
So one live counter of my showroom given to you, one to your wife. So 2 are booked for this, 2 are left, which will eventually.
Sounds good.
Okay, guys, it's been a great fun. So let's start pouring in questions. We don't have much time. Yes. So Iram is complaining that I'm not asking her questions. So let's see, where is Iram's question. Iram, where are your questions? I can't see your questions. You haven't asked my 2 questions. Okay, there is one question which Swanzal asked me, which is a very, I think was a very interesting and relevant question. Staying inspired and staying relevant is one of the most challenging things in the life of a creative professional. In your long career, how have you done this?
So I think one of the biggest reasons is that I have a team of very, very young people and who keep inspiring me to match up to their level of thinking, to their aspirations, and I think that keeps me going. And my disposition of being, I think I would like to consider myself to be a very friendly person. I find it very easy to make friends because I don't work on any egos. I don't feel that anybody can take away anything from you. You know, I'm not a person on guard ever. I let down my guard extremely easily. So I think if my conduct can be inspiring for somebody, so that's how I can remain inspiring for people. And relevant is you need to be relevant to the times. You can't be outdated. You know, somebody like me, as I was saying, that who's extremely competitive not only in work but also in everything. Like when I started running marathon, I used to feel if this guy can do in 2 hours 30 minutes, I better be able to do it in 2 hours 30 minutes. And I wouldn't care about whether he was a 30-year-old or a 50-year-old. I had to do it in 2 hours 30 minutes. And another attribute is that I wouldn't want him, if I'm running with him, I wouldn't want him to fail in his target of 230. I would want him to achieve 229 so that I can compete and maybe take over and get myself to 228. So that's the competitiveness that I have without pulling anybody down. So I feel that's the atmosphere that I want to create, and we have created this in the fraternity. I think Rudraksh and Priyanka are on the chat, and there was a client who asked me, in fact, this is on record, one of the magazines, you know, this is such a game, but one of the magazines said Hot 100 or 50, fastest 50 or whatever. They asked me, who are the architects that you're inspired by? And I realized that everybody was giving names of foreign architects, this, that, the other. And honestly, I don't know anybody's work. I don't even know the names of foreign architects. So I thought of people who are young, who are doing very well. I think Rudraksh and Priyanka was one of the names I gave. Saurabh Dakshini was another, and Aman Agarwal. All three of them have gone on to do fantastic. I think today they are the ones who are in Hot 100 and Hot 50 and everything. So I think we need to create that kind of an atmosphere in the society, in our fraternity, where you are competitive, but then you are also trying to be fostering a friendship in the fraternity.
Excellent, sir. Great take. Sorry, everyone. I know there are a lot of questions. Last question I'll take of Priyanka, but there is 1 minute, sir. You need to give me a brief answer. Sir, you have done from marathons to a successful design practice to owning luxury cars. What's next? That is my last question. Then we have to finish this.
I told you nothing is planned ever in life. To live each day as it comes and make the most out of it. Make the most out of each day that it comes. Live it up to the extent that you can. There is a never say die attitude that you need to develop, I think.
A last minute left on the live chat because we're almost done with 1 hour, which we didn't realize we'll go for so long. Sir, last take for your audience, a message to youngsters, people like, you know, who are doing their own practice or something. On the last note, what is your message?
I think in life, you should have a blue sky thinking. That the whole canvas is yours. You can paint the way you want, but be very realistic. Do not blame. You have to be hardworking. Life is not about cherry pickings. I've been saying this. It's not a low-hanging fruit. You need to be extremely hardworking. You need to not give up. And you need to keep a very clear intent and a clear and healthy spirit. I think that'll take you a long way.
Yes.
And never get disheartened by failure. There's nothing which is failure. Everything teaches you something. And I think I'm being very serious on that. But yes, that's the way I think life should be lived.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I think you are a true rock star. You have been very supportive in this. You
made me say such serious things and empty things. And I'm hoping that all these friends who are really like a family today, thank you for coming on the chat. And I promise no more now. I promise no more.
And thank you all for taking it in a very positive way, especially you, sir. You have been kind of a role model for us. And letting me ask you all these questions.
Come
So
on.
once again, thank you very much. And sir, आपको बहुत सारी following मिली है. So I hope you are happy with the following. Thank you. Thank you.
Come on. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, guys. Thank you.